Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here joined with Inti Campo,
Good morning, people. How are you?
and today's show we're going to figure out how to destroy Bitcoin.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh boy,
Hey.
we're gonna do our normal TA, of course, and we're gonna be talking about, of course, we have to talk about what happened with Kraken, right? They've become a bank, right? Now crypto is no longer one of those sketchy things. It's the sketchy fiat. Anyways, we're gonna talk.
Hey, Super Billion. Are you broadcasting to YouTube?
Yeah, we should be. Darn.
I don't see it.
Oh, for frig's sakes, really? It should be. It should be. Can you guys see us in the YouTube? Don't tell me that's not working.
Oh, it seems
Yeah,
it's only me?
Yeah, it's just you. Okay, thank goodness. Whew. So just refresh your page and then there you go. Alrighty then. So there's like 245 of you in the YouTube
Awesome.
chat. And how many people in Twitch here? Let's see here. 15 of you. Thank you guys for joining the show today. And yeah, let's head over to the TA. Before we do that, Inti's got a few words to say.
Yes. As always, it's worth to remind you people that this video is for entertainment purposes only, alien entertainment. And this is not financial advice. Please do your own research before putting any of your hard-earned money on the market.
Alrighty then. Alrighty, let's switch screens and head over to Bitcoin. Come on, please go to moon. All right. So, well, at least we've reached our target, the 3-to-1 target from the Davo, as you can see here, and we're pulling back from the 11,000 target.
Oh, you mean my double trade?
That's my Davo trade, not your Davo trade. Okay, just to get it straight, right? I'm the one who wrote this algorithm, right? So yeah, alrighty. So, anyways, as I was saying, we're looking for I would say we're probably going to have to test at least the 11,300 almost. Before we could say for sure or break through it, or I think we'll test it first and then try to break it later on. I think, but with this thing rolling back off of the $11,000 mark, I'm a little concerned. Let's see, where can we really put? You know what? The only thing that we can really put this at is really at the 11,100. That is the area. See, there you go. You can see that's the real resistance zone. This 11,300, no, forget it. The 11,100, remember how we were like bouncing off of that because somebody was holding it? Now somebody is holding it down. And you can see that, right? We came close to the 11,100 zone and yeah, we're done. It was like almost like 11,090 something, 90-ish, 98, yeah. That we got to, and before we actually got hammered downwards. Let's see here. I think we're going to probably retrace at least to the 38.2, right? Just to see if we're going to fall further. And so if you're interested in pick some up to maybe play that, don't think that's a pretty good idea at this point. The 38.2, which is 10,600, which is actually interesting. Wow, that lines right up with the breakout level, and we checked the breakout level, and we checked it again, and it said, yeah, we're going through. And so if we bounce off of here, that's very bullish. This could take out the 11,100 level on a bounce here, and I think. You know what? I think if you want to, you have to go to the smaller time frame table in order to find a trade. But I think we might be able to find a trade down here somewhere to go long on this. Yeah, look at that. Especially if this thing dumps down for really fast to the 10,600. I think we could probably get a trade off of that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have Inti keep an eye on that today.
On what?
What do you mean on what? You not paying attention?
I am paying attention.
You're gonna look for
to
on
the
the
other section.
hourly on the hourlies, right?
Ooh.
There's a trade coming into.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Give
To
me a double M because I see a big divergence. I saw it. I saw it yesterday. So give me a double M and I'm going to short this.
No, we're not shorting this. We're
No,
going
you're
long.
not shorting?
We're going long from this point here. Look for some long point from here because I don't think we're gonna have much room to short this thing. We're in a bull market, and I think we could. I don't know. I don't see us breaking down heavy at this point. We could, but I don't see it. This M top with this divergence. Yeah, sure. There's a little bit of divergence, but that's probably going to be cleared up on the hourly once we get down to the 10,600. That divergence.
Yeah, yesterday I saw like a lot of bearish indicators on the 4 hour. I mean, I saw like a small OBB divergence to the downside. I think I confirmed bearish divergence on the MACD, so that's why I was thinking I have to short this. I need some structure in the lower time frames.
Yeah, well, the short was already done. I mean, we're already in the short. If you're not in the short now, you can't get in now.
There's no way you can short it right now.
Yeah.
So a continuation trade.
You can a continuation short trade.
No, to the upside.
Exactly. That would make the most sense at this point in time. So yeah, let's end it there and talk about Ethereum now. Well, Ethereum, I don't know. I'm a little nervous at trading Ethereum because it's like it seems like a no man's zone, especially on the daily. You can see that it's just not indecisive, right? The bands are extremely wide on the daily. This thing could roll over. It could go higher. It could do whatever it wants to do at this point. I like the fact that the volume is the volume profile here. No, not volume profile. The OBV is like positive, very positive, and we're quite oversold here on the Mac on the RSI and the Willy and the MACD. Let's see here, how badly are we oversold? Yeah, I mean, and then we've got kind of like a turning and roll over. We're rolling up from an oversold position, and so it is positive on the indicators. However, this is like I'd be a little nervous to trade this thing because this can whack you hard. Trying to get in any kind of position. I really see that we're gonna probably see a lot of FU moves or Darth Maul moves on this thing where they wipe out both longs and shorts before it makes any kind of decision. So yeah, I would if you're trading this, right, I would suggest you wait for oops, I did not mean to do that. I'd wait for some sort of like massive move in the one direction and then take the opposite trade of that. Whether it goes really high, really fast, I'd take a short on that, and if it goes really low, really fast, I'd probably take a long on that, and then see and watch it go the opposite direction because I feel that there's more there's some pain coming on this charts here. So if you're interested in trading this, right, we do have affiliate links for Femex, right, and you could trade a lot more on Femex than just Ethereum. You can trade gold even on Femex, and a lot of other altcoins with leverage on Femex, and you get bonuses if you don't have a Femex account already. Also, Bybit as well, and you could always access Bybit by typing in bybit.davinci15.com, and joining in, following if you have an account and you have DJ15 tokens, that would definitely going to be I can't say definitely, really, that may help you as well, because as the revenue comes in, I might be sharing that revenue with everybody with holding DJ tokens. So consider that when you're planning on signing up for any of these exchanges. But make sure that you know how to trade, because this is definitely Rec City here. If you don't trade properly, if you trade with emotions, if you get angry at the market, you will get wrecked at these exchanges. So please be careful. Let's take a look at the dominance. Oh, thank goodness. Look at that. You guys are getting a reprieve on the dominance of Bitcoin. If it broke above the 62 level, look out. We're probably gonna Bitcoin is gonna take over for quite some time. All right. With that said, good news on the Twitter front. Kraken is now banked. I mean, if somebody were to go back even just 3 years or even just a year ago and tell me, yeah, Kraken Exchange is going to become a bank, I'd be like, what are you talking about? There's no way that's going to happen. Now, all banks can have crypto, and they figured, what the heck? Might as well if they go through the hoops, they might as well be banks as well. And now, right, Kraken could go, look at me, I'm a banker now. Nobody know. and they don't trust that those people who are actually selling fiat, man. That's so sketchy. You know how much crime is committed with fiat? Like the most in the entire world, crime is committed using fiat money. It's also a crime using sneakers, using a car, using a computer. So it's ridiculous to associate crime with any particular a thing, right? It's just a joke. But anyways, that is cool news, and it really strengthens our industry and puts legitimacy to cryptocurrencies. All right, now it's time to talk about how we are going to destroy Bitcoin. We are an evil government agency. We do not want people to have access to their own money and become their own bank. So we're going to plan the destruction of Bitcoin. So listen up. All right, first off, we know that we can't stop math. We can't shoot it. We can't kill it. Right? So we have to get people away from Bitcoin, away from cryptocurrencies. And so how do we start doing that? Well, we have to prevent them from actually building more security features into crypto. So we have to do a little bit of embracement. Not so much that that people suspect that we're embracing this to screw them over. We need to make it well even. Then, right? Because we become part of the club, part of the team, right? Government and crypto, we're buds. Yeah, we're buds now, right? So that people don't realize that they don't need security. They don't need security. They don't need privacy. We don't want them to have that, right? Because once we get our claws in, and once we make sure that there's no privacy inside crypto, right? It's going to be very difficult to add it back in later. That's very important. Right? Then what we're going to do, right? We're going to make sure we incentivize companies, businesses, individuals to use not Bitcoin. No, you'll be able to use Bitcoin. No problem. But we have this product here backed up by Bitcoin. Because the transactions are very, very slow on the network. You need to use our wrapped Bitcoin. Don't worry. Every Bitcoin token is backed up by real Bitcoin. You're going to use that. And if you use that, well, we're going to have tax incentives for you. We're going to take care of you very well and make sure that you, the user, right, of our wrapped Bitcoin, right, always gets the fair treatment. People who use the actual Bitcoin, oh man, no. Those guys are criminals. Those guys are real criminals. We need to stay. We need to punish anybody that uses real Bitcoin, and incentivize those to use wrapped Bitcoins, derivatives of Bitcoins. Make sure that when people come to a bank and they want to buy some Bitcoin, no problem. We'll store it for you. We'll keep it safe, right, Inti? The banks will always take care of you, like a Corralito.
The banks are the most kind, protective,
of course,
trusty,
of course,
entity that you could ever ask for. They will do everything for you. You're not a number for them. You're not a slave. You're not a puppet.
Exactly.
You're a human being that has to be taken care of.
Exactly.
That's what a bank thinks, right?
Exactly. They're the kind and gentle, fluffy company that you love to work with.
They always treat you well.
Oh man, that's so. I can't stop laughing at that one. Oh wow. So yes, we want you to have your Bitcoins, but not really. You have these Bitcoin token lookalikes that you can use. You can transfer them to anybody you want, and no problem. And guess what? You get a tax incentive to using the token. So there we go. We'll take care of you. So this is one of the ways I really see that Bitcoin can get destroyed, and especially the value of it. Because, that's the key thing, right? If it constantly keeps going up, it makes it difficult for the governments to actually prevent people from using it. And another way that the government can actually take down Bitcoin is through the mining process. One of the things I see it was possible is that the government could incentivize mining in their local districts, just like they've done in China. And then, you can see how they're on again, off again with the hate Bitcoin and love Bitcoin. Well, at any point, if all sufficiently, I think they would need about 80% of the mining goes to China. What they could then do, even though you're saying, well, if they try to create what's it called? All they're gonna get is double spend. They only be able to double spend on Bitcoin. Well, yeah, okay, hold on, right? You see how well that's how what's happening to the ETC Ethereum Classic. It's getting just destroyed. And what they could do is then at the point of a gun, grab a hold of all those miners and say, okay, we're forking Bitcoin, and you're gonna follow our government coin. And then at the same time, because there's something called merge mining, and what you can do is merge mine in the background your Bitcoin blocks, whilst there's only 20% left, right, of miners trying to reset the clock on Bitcoin. What they can do is throw in. They can merge mine in a hidden way, right? Just like they've done with ETC, Ethereum Classic. And then they're still mining their own blockchain and going forward, but at the same time mining a hidden blockchain so that they could throw it out to disrupt Bitcoin whenever they want to. So that would be a disaster as well for Bitcoin, where you wouldn't be able to use it. And miners, the rest of the 20% of the miners would realize, well, wait a second, what am I doing over here? If someone could throw in blocks, crazy blocks, and disrupt me from actually earning a living, because they will also be able to take take a lot of the blocks away from the rest of the miners through their merge mine blocks. So it's kind of a scary situation that if mining becomes too centralized in one country, it can get disrupted really, really fast. Especially if they follow that key plan of mine, which is to tell people to use derivatives, right? Because that's part of it, right? Because once you use a derivative, right, they can just remove the backing from one. Oh, don't worry, it's not Bitcoin now. It's my coin now. It's government coin now. You're safe. So yeah, that's a big problem with Bitcoin that I see going forward. All right, if you want to check out, my mouse just died. Crap, and I can't. That's weird. I can't seem to switch the okay, there it's scrolling's now working. All right, there we go. So this is the video, and if you just scroll down, right, and see more, you can see all the description, all the text of today's video. All right, Inti, let's get on to the questions and answers of today. But before we do that, I would like to thank everyone who is watching this on the backup channel, edited by Chris. He's in my ear right now, helping manage the show. And we're going to be doing this format going forward, starting probably next month. And also, we're going to have a Telegram channel that's going to be open sometime next week, where all of you guys will be able to join in the Telegram group. But then later on, if you don't have a token, you will be booted from that group. If you don't have the DJ15 token, you will be booted from that group. So I'm working hard with a developer, with a bot, to create a bot so that to check to see if you have the token. And then if you do, you'll be able to stay in the group and be able to watch the live streams as well. All right, well, thank you for watching, and now it's time for our questions and answers.
Awesome. So, the first question is going to start strong because it's from Gabe Allen. Gabe Allen asks, if I was the Fed, I would 51% attack Bitcoin using printed money to buy mining equipment and energy, so that prices collapses, then buy most of it up to be able to rig the market forever.
You can't do that because the reason why is governments are very incompetent, and doing that will be clear. You'll be see that the people will see it through that well ahead, and also that you want to do it in such a way. You want to build it in such. You want to destroy Bitcoin in such a way that it just happens over time, where there's no actual person planning, or because you don't want it to get out, right? Them buying up a bunch of equipment, that will get out. That people will see that happening. So what you want them to do, you want the public to build up and do it a lot better, because the government is very incompetent in building things properly. So you want the general public to build up Bitcoin, build up their mining, and then take over that. That's how you do it, right? Not buying it themselves, right? That's just a bad idea. All right, next question.
Next question. This question is from Saramaret from Twitch. Saramaret asks, Uniswap is giving 400 Uni tokens for free for any uses prior to one CPOT. Minus that equals about 3 Ethereum at current prices. People may swap their Uni and boost Ethereum price. What do you think?
Wow, they're giving away a lot of Uniswap. I gotta look into that. But I heard they got listed today on Binance, and so I'm interested to check that out and maybe buy some. But if they're giving it away like candy, I'd rather have the candy, free candy, right, instead of going pay for it with my own money. So I will look into that today and let you know sometime next week, unfortunately, because Tomorrow is a holiday here. We are in Chile, and it is the Independence Day of Chile. So I've decided to take tomorrow off. Alrighty.
Okay.
Next question.
I'm sure you're going to love this question. And it has a lot to do with the main topic of today. This is from Science 2491 and says Executive Order 6102 is an executive order signed on April 5, 1933 by US President Franklin Roosevelt, which made holding gold illegal. If they do the same with Bitcoin, would it work?
No. You could say that it wouldn't work because the reason why is, they've done that in Argentina, they've done that in Russia, they've done that in Venezuela, and it didn't work out very well for them. As people still trade in dollars, right? They don't care. The public doesn't care because for what they do is they ban it for you, and the politicians use it to hide their money and grab the money from the public through taxation, and then transfer it into Bitcoin so they can hide it away. Everybody, if the government will do it, right, the politicians will end up doing it, and so will you, and so it will actually just at first it will be painful for Bitcoin, but then it will just turn around really fast. And then even corporations will be hiding their money in Bitcoin. So it would be a disaster for them. All right.
Just think about it. Every time the government prohibits something, that something becomes 10 times more valuable.
Yeah, like drugs.
Like drugs. Like, for example, cigarettes. In Argentina, in one time they made cigarettes illegal. Now the cigarettes were 3 times the price, and there were more cigarettes than before in the black market. Same with alcohol in the United States. It happens everywhere.
Exactly.
It will be the same with Bitcoin if they do that.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have to the super chats. The first one is from Felipe Venancio and says, I hate XRP, but my money doesn't care. XRP against USD on the weekly crossing moving average. Last time it happened, it pumped a lot, around 3 years ago. It's crossing your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I don't hate it, don't date it, just trade it. So I have some XRP. I'm just little letting it, seeing if I can sell half on a double, and that's it. So I have my XRP ready. Should banksters decide to use it, but I think they're going to go with Ethereum. If you ask me, it looks like that. But hey, who knows? Maybe Brad Garlinghouse manages to convince the banks to use his government-controlled coin. So I just find it amusing how people don't realize that the code, because the code's there, right? I mean, you don't need me to tell you that I'm lying. You can say that I'm lying, but the code's there, and I've shown it to people who said, okay, well, they can't freeze your account, but it has the ability to freeze your accounts right here, and one of the founding members, their account was frozen of XRP. So how are you saying that it can't be frozen? Also, you can see that since they control most of the nodes, right, they can change the rules, and so increase the number of coins that are out there. So I'm not sure how you don't see that. And also, they can actually reverse transactions, right? This is part of the selling feature that they're using to get the banks on board. Like, I don't understand people's inability to see what's right there. And when I pointed it out on Twitter, I'm like, okay, I'm giving up, right? Because it's in black and white, written down for you, to show you that this is true. This is like people who don't believe that the ETFs don't have any gold and silver. I mean, it's written there saying, yeah, well, if the custodians steal the gold, well, that's too bad for you, right? And we're not going to check. So what do you think? You think the custodians have the gold? If they're not, if they steal the gold, they're not. That's not their problem, and they're not going to check. So, do you think the ETF custodians have the gold if they know they're not checking? What do you think, Inti? You're smoking weed, man. All right. Next question.
Okay, we have a kind donation from Nick Van Dyke and says, enjoy the holiday tomorrow. Have a beer on me.
Definitely. Actually, we drink Terremotos here, right? And that's
Earthquake drink.
Exactly, earthquake drink, and it's with ice cream and wine and what was the red stuff that they put I forget what it's called.
I do. Here it's called Granada. The fruit. Yeah. The fruit, I don't know how it's called in English. It's a red fruit with a lot of small bubbles.
Oh, it's small seeds, you mean?
Yeah, the seeds are like bubbles with juice.
It's what's it called? Pomegranate. That's it.
There you go. So it's a syrup of that with pineapple ice cream and sweet wine, and it's like a national drink. It's awesome.
And it's deadly.
And it's deadly. Yeah. They give you a glass this big.
Yes.
So it's called earthquake.
Yeah. You drink 3 of those, and you won't remember what you did the next day. That's it. You're done. All right. Next question.
So this one is a bit confusing, and this one is from Sebastian. It says, "Could you be considered a bank?"
Could you consider a bank? What?
Could you be considered a bank?
I don't understand the question really.
I don't understand the question either. But if you are, for example, I don't know, your token, just to say something.
I see. Well, no, the token itself is not a bank. It's not. It's just something that you can hold, that you can take possession of. That's all. Now, if you're talking about if you want to create a bank, man, that costs a lot of money. About $10 million is the cheapest location you'd have to spend in order for all the different the regulations and rules that you have to comply with, and software and hardware and equipment and personnel and so forth, just to get to the point where you can actually open a bank. And that's the cheapest you're going to spend, and normally it's like $25 to $50 million. But once you do become a bank, well, that's the easiest way to rob one. All right, before we continue to the next question, did anybody notice anything different? Let me know if you noticed something different.
Doesn't Davinci looks like too shiny, too HD?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems weird, right?
Yeah, I switched cameras, right? I was using this camera, which was a 5100 Sony camera before, and I switched to the 6600 series, and man, what a difference! Wow. And we're I'm actually recording with this camera. I couldn't record on it and stream at the same time, but with the new one, I'm actually recording, and it's been 42 minutes of record time. It hasn't overheated, and there's nothing going wrong so far other than the lag, but that's just because of my computer, which I'm going to get replaced with a Threadripper 64 cores.
I thought you were going for the Mac Pro, man.
Yeah, but you know what? It's just going to take forever because I have to go get it. So yeah.
Oh my God, Davinci using Windows.
I know. Well, I use Windows right now. I mean, come on, look at this. This is Windows right here. You see the start screen right there? There you go. I'm using Windows. So it's just that I use it in a virtual machine. So like giving away a little bit too much information on how much how my equipment is set up. But anyways, all right. Well, I would like to thank all the people who purchased the DJ15 token. We're at 500 ETH. And yeah, appreciate it, right? That's all the money that's going. Well, I haven't used the money because I've been using my money, but you know what? The money that you guys have gone into the token is all going towards to my what's it called? My studio and so forth. So here you can see. If you're in if you're part of the Pandora's Wallet Telegram group, you'll see that I've already started building out the room. I've got a light, a really nice light, right, a desk and so forth, and so you're gonna see this thing come together in the next little while, and it should be finished by the end of the month, hopefully, right? And looking forward to that. All right, let's get on to the next question.
Okay, so the next question is going to be from EOS, and he asks, how on earth can negative interest rate work in the repo market? Yeah, I asked the same. Financial economy will collapse without it. I can only see this as planned economic collapse.
Now, how does negative interest rates work in the repo market? I don't see that being possible, and that's why the Federal Reserve stepped in the repo markets. The repo markets is a repurchasing agreement market, meaning that, and it doesn't exist anymore. The repurchasing market is gone, and I'll explain why. Is what it was before is that the fact that during the day, if you're a bank, if you're running a bank, right, during the day you can give out as much loans as possible. So if somebody comes into your bank and says, "Hey, I need $5 trillion." You can actually give that to that person, right? But the problem is, right, at nighttime you needed to provide 10% backing of that 5 trillion. So you needed like $500 billion to go to the Fed, and if you didn't have it, you needed to sell those debts, all your debt instruments, right, to collect that $500,000 and give it to the Federal Reserve or to their central bank, and to hold it for overnight. And so it wasn't always like that. It was only until 1992. It was started in 1992 that allowed them to the banks to during the day go as much into debt as they wanted to during the day. So anyways, so the problem was you would go into the market, which was called the repurchasing market, because you would promise to buy back the debt tomorrow morning, right? So for example, you would have a bunch of IOUs of people that owe you money, right? And then you'd sell those IOUs to get cash, and then you'd deposit that at the bank in the Federal Reserve just to overnight, just to cover your overnight fractional reserve. You have your reserve. Then in the morning you would take the cash back out of the Federal Reserve and buy back that debt. Now the problem is, what if the person didn't buy back the debt? They would be in default, and then you'd have to take them to court, and in order to get the money. And if they go bankrupt, then you're screwed, right? And so this was always the issue with. This was why we needed the Federal Reserve to step in, because the banks all banks started to get scared that Inti Bank of Inti was going to go default. And so they didn't trust him, and so they said, okay, if you want me to buy that debt, you got to pay me a high interest rate, and because the LIBOR is also an interest rate that's connected to home mortgages and other things as well, it would cause the interest rates of other things to go skyrocket as well, because the banks were losing money on that on overnight rates. So they're going to have to pass that on to their customers, and they couldn't. That was not acceptable. And also, there's derivatives written against LIBOR, right? So that if it explodes higher, these derivatives they get triggered, and then it would cause the domino effect of disasters. So they knew that the Federal Reserve had to step in and promise all this money for repo markets, and they started with a few hundred billion, and then 500 billion, and then a trillion, then 3 trillion, and then they realized, screw it. You know what? The reason why this is all happening is because we have this stupid rule, that people have to deposit money with us, right? Let's just take that away. And so they did. And when they took that away, now a bank, you could quite literally go into a bank and say, can I borrow $50 trillion? And they'd be go, yeah, and they can put it in your bank account. They just haven't realized that yet, because they were always living under the regime where they had to put 10%, so they couldn't really effectively do the 5 trillion, or 50 trillion, because they knew that they'd have to come up with 5 trillion in order to deposit at the Fed. Well, now they don't. So what stops them from going buck wild? Nothing. Yeah, that's where we're at. All right, next question.
Next question. We have a super chat from a JVQ and says, technical alert analysis on xDai, please. Are you buying?
xDai. Well, why would you do technical analysis on xDai? Because it's a dollar token, right? That's like buying a US dollar. So I'm not interested in buying xDai. It's just and it looks like, right, from what I'm learning, because it looks like it's just pegged to DAI, and so, or it's basically a wrapped DAI coin. To allow you to transfer a DAI coin to the xDai network, to allow you to transfer back and forth your DAIs, which are just xDAIs, in that case on the network, to so that your fees are less than if you were to transfer your DAI around on the Ethereum network. So it's basically a side chain for DAI, and that's what it looks like to me. And so I wouldn't want to buy xDai. Has no value. It's just a dollar, right? I could just go buy dollars if I wanted. So instead, what you would be interested is in the stake coin. Believe it or not, that's the name of the coin, which runs the network, which provides the network with proof of stake and ensures that all transactions are being validated correctly of your xDai on the chain. And so that coin, right, has fluctuating value and most likely will increase in value over time in order to support the network. So yeah, I would definitely look at a stake, and I think we did stake the other day. So if you watch, I forget which video we did it on. But,
2 days ago.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago. We did some TA on stake coin, and yeah, check that out because I don't think there's much has changed. All right, next question.
Next question. This is another request from sorry, it's kind of hard to read. Isvan Semayak from Twitch. This person asked, hey Davinci, love your work. Could you please check Elrond with the new ticket symbol Egold?
Elrond with Egold. Okay, so yeah,
EGLD.
Yeah, I know of that. I have some of that coin. And yeah, I think I don't know much about it, right? I'm wondering if it's real gold behind this thing. EGLD, I doubt it. But the point is, there's not much data in order to go off of this, right? And you have to do a little bit of fancy footwork to figure out how much this thing is worth when you translate it from its old coin. So I'm gonna let it settle, let it decide what it wants to do, and then I'm going to have a second look at it and decide if I want to buy this coin, because this thing could fall to the floor really fast. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait on this, and there is no TA for this thing. Okay, next question. Let's just do 2 more and then call it a day.
Okay, so Flying Rise 909 ask. This is from Twitch. Is it a good idea of taking a fiat loan or a REFI on fixed rate for a mortgage? most lenders are offering almost 0% APR.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're headed into hyperinflation because they can print as much they can lend you as much money as they want. Hey, if you want to buy $1 billion home, well, they can do it. And they can keep it on their books, right? They don't have to sell it to anybody, right? The loan itself. And then what the beauty of that is that let's just say you can't afford to pay. They could actually just loan you just some more money to pay your loan. That's how crazy it can get.
But wait. I thought, like, for historical events that happened in the past, that if you're in an hyperinflation environment and you get a debt that later you cannot pay, you're going to lose everything, right?
Well, if you think about this, Inti, there is no rules for them to stop the banks from lending as much money as they want. So, consider this. So let's just say you can't pay your mortgage. Your bank can technically just loan you some more money, and to pay, and that's it.
But wait.
There is no rule. There's no like, oh, wait a second, you can't have that loan because hey, you can't because there's not any money in the bank. No. There is no reserves in the Federal Reserve. No.
Yeah, but here goes my question. If they can print the money, then they know it's worthless. And if money is worthless, then what do they want? Physical commodities, right? And if they can take them from you, then they are making the actual profit instead of you lending more money.
Yeah, that's true. They could actually but here's the thing with the rule. There are certain other rules with the bank. If they take possession of the asset, right, they have to sell it in the open market most of the time, right? They might have changed the rules. I don't know. The last time that we had the crisis, they changed the rule allowing banks to mark to fantasy their assets, right? And what that is basically it's called a mark to model. And what that is where let's just say they loaned money to buy for people to buy $1 million house, and they bought the house and then they defaulted and then the banks took possession back of that house. Well, because there was a lot of houses on the market, that the price of the house dropped, and so no longer it's worth the asset on their balance sheet is worth what the loan is. And so that effectively makes the bank go bankrupt, right? If their asset side of the ledger is lower than their debt side of the ledger. So in order for the banks to continue functioning, what they did was change the rules back in 2008 and 2009 to allow the bank to say, well, this property, which is now worth $1,000, is now worth $1 million, and I would call that mark to fantasy.
Okay.
And so it would effectively make the bank solvent because they're lying about what the asset's value is, right? Their balance sheet, and so yeah, that's how they did it. Interesting, eh?
Ooh, I didn't know they do that.
Yeah, it's whenever there's a crisis, they of the banking's own making, they just change the rules.
Oh. You know, we yesterday had an interesting experience that Davinci laughed about a lot because I discovered why people hate banks so much. And it was because I realized that my money is not actually my money anymore.
It never
it's
was.
Inside a bank.
Never was once it's inside a bank.
It never was. Because I wanted to buy something that was quite expensive, but I had the money on the bank. I went through the bank to make the transfer and says, oh, guess what? You cannot transfer that amount of money. And it's not a crazy amount of money, man. I have minimum wage, so you can imagine. Then I say, okay, let's pay with web pay, you know? And I try to do it. Oh, you guess what? You cannot pay. You cannot exceed this amount. of payment. And I said, what are you talking about? That's my money. I should be able to pay what I want. I know I can't. That's very basic. Everyone knows that. I didn't knew that, and I was very pissed off.
Yeah, I know. It was 400,000 pesos, and
400,000 pesos is nothing.
yeah, it's actually nothing. And I have the same limit, right? I mean, they won't let you move that much money. And yeah, that's the banking system for you, right? Because it's not your money, and they don't want you to move it around.
I mean,
All right.
it's their business to do that. Oh man. Okay, last question.
Yes.
This one is from Mind Remover, and it says, Kraken took approval to be the world's first Bitcoin bank. Do you think other exchanges, such as Binance, will jump to this bandwagon? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to becoming a bank as an exchange, right? Because now you don't have to worry about the bank making it impossible for you to make transfers. You could actually have your customers. Okay, well, if I can't transfer to you, individual, to your bank because of some issue with that. Hey, open an account here. We're fully insured. Really, Kraken actually is not fully insured actually because they're in Wyoming and they have a rule that they have to be 100% backed. So you don't need to worry about it. Them taking off with your money. Well, I guess they could, but still, it makes it more secure basically. And so, there's lots of advantages to that, and I would love to own a bank, but it just costs a lot, right? Because there's and then the technology. I mean, they are using technology from the 70s. It's a ridiculous banking system. But anyways, I have to end it here. It's been over an hour of recording here, and I really appreciate all you guys joining us today. And I noticed that a lot of people hated this video, right? There wasn't a lot of love on this one. I have 276 likes, but immediately we got like the most amount of hates ever when we posted this video.
Oh, you know what I think? This one is like, is that a special candy that not everyone likes?
Yeah, exactly.
But you can really enjoy, because when you were doing the impression of the evil government agency, people were laughing, arc each other around.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know some people really like that.
All right, well, thank you for all the 200 new subscribers from yesterday. That was awesome, man. Another 2, that's just incredible. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Cheers.
Cheers, people. Have a good one.